Hey everyone, hope you're all having a good day. Just wanted to make a fairly quick video about ramshorn snails and breeding them. Not a whole lot to it, so like I said, it will be a quick video. Before I get into that, I just want to make a quick note. If y'all don't mind, if you find this helpful, throw it a thumbs up or a like if you don't like it, or quick comments just saying thanks, or if you want to subscribe, that too. But to get into the bulk of what you're here for, ramshorn snails and a lot of other snails, they're fairly easy to breed. You really don't have to do a whole lot. What I did to start, this is a 10-gallon tank. I have nothing in there. There's never been anything in there but ramshorn snails. This one specifically, like I said, is just ramshorn snails. So I like to do like a controlled environment and see, you know, it makes it easier for me to understand what's happening in there. And with these specifically ramshorn, I got them maybe within the last few months, so maybe 2 to 3 months ago. I got them. I got 3 of them. I would say within about a month they were laying eggs, and they basically just they appear as kind of like splotches, like just a clear mark, maybe half an inch to an inch big around, and there's just little dots in it, and those are eggs. Like all of a sudden one day I just saw there were like, just the little parts that I could see were about 12 spots, and I'm sure there were more hidden all around that I couldn't see. I can only see the short end of my tank because I have it long ways and I have other tanks beside it. Sorry about the beeping there, that's my oven. But right now, so I'm not sure if you can see it, there is one, let's see if I can get my finger in here. There's one of the originals right here, kind of behind the green plant right there. There's another one up off to the left a little bit you can't see, but they're originally 3 adults. They're maybe half inch to an inch big. They're blue ramshorns. They're all blue, but one of them turned a darker brown color, so I'm not sure what that's about, but they're all ramshorns nonetheless. But from my understanding, you really only need one, and they'll breed essentially if the conditions are right. And really the conditions is all about just having okay water and having a food source. And they eat pretty much anything, algae, biofilm. What I generally feed them is just excess food, so like fish food, shrimp food. You can even feed them like blanched vegetables or really any type of a decaying matter. So maybe even like leaves and stuff like that. You want to make sure to probably boil it first, just to make sure that you're not introducing anything bad into your aquarium. But maybe even woods and stuff, you know, woody type materials, stuff like that. But they're pretty much like kind of like a garbage disposal. They'll really eat anything possible. And with this tank specifically, when I put them in here, all of the sides, I keep this front side here clear, just to see in for my viewing pleasure, I guess you would say. But the sides and the back were just covered in green. They were algae. And so I think that's likely one of the things that helped spur what happened. But once they basically had a few, like some of the babies started popping out, it cleared up within a couple weeks, 3 weeks at most. But like, I mean, you can actually see the sides, which is like the mirroring on the sides of the glass, which is incredible because it was covered. There was enough green there that there was no reflection in it. And now there are easily hundreds of baby ramshorns in there, and some of them are quite bigger. You can see them. They're really covering the floor, but they're kind of small. This is aqua soil on the bottom, the brown, but what isn't brown, so all these little dots that aren't brown are baby ramshorn snails. And they're, you know, there's some bigger ones like right here. That's a bigger one. That one, there's a few of them right here in the camera. One of them almost looks like a gold color, pearlescent, shiny gold color. And there's another kind of a silver one behind it over here. But here's the gold one right here in the corner. There's another one right here. That'd be cool if they ended up being like a gold color. But they're all over. And they're not just here. They are all over the side. You really can't see it, but up the side here, all those little specks The camera's just not hitting it too well, but those are all babies, and I could easily count probably 30 to 50 just on the side right there. And like I said, I started with 3 of them. So I really just wanted to go with the blue ones and just get a nice specific color, because my tanks are generally kind of a darker color. I use a lot of aqua soil or black sand, so I figured I'd go with that color instead of more. A lot of the ramshorns, I think you can get like a pinkish color, some other ones, but from my understanding, a lot of snails are like this, especially like the pond snails and stuff like that. That's why they get out of control for people. So if you're looking to breed ramshorn snails, really, you don't need to do much research. Buy a few, throw them in a tank. They'll kind of get out of control for you. But the thing with snails is they'll only breed the amount of food that they have access to. So these guys expanded rapidly and started breeding because there was so much food in there for them. And generally, the more food, the more dirty your aquarium is. So, I mean, they'll basically help clean it up. They may not 100% fix the problem. I wouldn't buy them. I've ran into some issues. I had some mystery snails before this, and mystery snails are different because they will actually climb up to the water line, and they'll come up out of it and lay eggs along the surface. If there's surface area, they will lay eggs there. And I've actually had some escape, and they laid eggs completely outside of the aquarium, like on the floor and on the wall. So it does depend on the snail, but from my understanding, a lot of snails will generally lay eggs like this just in the water, and you really don't have to do anything. They just expand their colony, so to speak, and grow, and just kind of get out of control. But they'll only grow as big as the food will allow them to. They're not going to have an excess amount of babies if there's no food. So if you're really good with your food and stuff like that, it shouldn't get too out of control. And when it does, they'll basically die off because there's no food, which sounds harsh, but I mean, that's the circle of life, so to speak. But yeah, that's it. I don't know if you guys have been watching this blue guy. I mean, it only looks like a couple inches, but he's been exploring around back there. There's a lot of little babies out there, but yeah, there's really nothing you need to do as far as watching this video. Just take that with confidence. If just buy a few and you're good to go. If you want random colors, buy a random assortment. But for the most part, a lot of snails are like this, and I think most other types lay basically above the water line like that. There is some more to that process for snails that lay eggs above the water line. I think they need to basically kind of stay moist-ish. There's actually some work you may need to do with that if you want to breed them. So look into that if you want. But if you're just looking for something, like I originally got these because I was looking into getting like pea puffers, which from my understanding they eat snails. And then I ended up, like right when I got these, I ended up reading somewhere that they generally only eat smaller snails. So they do eat ramshorn snails, but they tend to want the smaller ones, which is interesting. I was like, oh, at that point I'd already got them, and so I figured I'd just keep them separate. I didn't want them spreading to all my tanks. I have very clean, nice tanks. I don't have snails in any of my other tanks. It is just this tank. So I keep this quarantined. I do things thoroughly. I've never even stuck a net in there. I haven't done anything to this. They have been keeping it nice and clean. They eat any bit of food I put in there. They annihilate. If I drop like a wafer down in there, just like any type of food, they dogpile on it. They come out of the woodwork. You would be surprised how many snails you'll find in there, and like a wafer, they'll be eating on it for a couple days, and it'll just be slowly disintegrating, and there will be so many of them. But yeah, there's one just falling off the glass, so jumping. We got a jumper. But yeah, again, if you guys don't mind, like the video, dislike it if you like, leave a comment telling you found it useful, or subscribe even if you'd like. Stuff like that will help me. Eventually, maybe I can start making a few bucks off it and help me kind of expand the hobby and get into other stuff and make more videos and just have fun with it. So it's kind of the whole reason I'm doing it. But I also want to, my main reasoning, a lot of the videos are just videos that I couldn't find any information on, so I just wanted to put what I found out there. So it seems like some people are finding that helpful. So yeah, that's all that spiel. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day and take it safe out there. Have a good one. Bye.